Good evening, Professor Farag and Rudvik. This is my short demo where I'm going to walk you through how I built and use my AI assistant for reviewing lecture materials as a student. I've used Langflow and Vertex AI. So to start off, I have a file node here where it starts with a lecture file where I've uploaded a PDF that includes content from lectures 1 to 3 of our AI and business modeling course. And then into step two, we're splitting the lectures into chunks where the text from the PDF gets passed through a component called the recursive character text splitter. As you can see here, the chunk sizes are 800 and the overlap is 100. And then as far as the next step of that, it's like you see that there's a connectivity point from the data to the data ingestion through the database, Astra database, which I've inputted JSON data for the lecture content material in that database. So you can see I've called out that it's the student course inquiries database, and the collection is for student course research. And then if you take a look at the Vertex AI embedded here, you can see credentials for my Google JSON download, and the model name is enlisted here as well. So the Vertex AI is embedded is connected to the database, which is connected to the parser, which the parser formats a data frame or data object. In this case, I've enabled Stringify to convert input into a readable string instead. So from the parser, you see that it's connected to the prompt, and the prompt has connectivity to the chat input where the user is actually able to interact with the AI agent. For example, asking questions like, what are 0 to 1 products if I'm trying to understand that from our lecture content material. Moving on from the prompt, you see that the prompt message output is connected to the input for the Vertex AI, which has credentials again from the Google JSON file downloaded from our Google account. And then the model name here is listed as Gemini 2.5 as covered in lecture. And then you see the chat output here. So as an example, I will ask this a few questions. So the first question I'm going to ask is, what is the number one reason for startup failure? This might take a while, but I'll try to ask two questions so you can see it working. So this one is a question from looking at lecture material to kind of to spread it around a little bit. This question, I believe, is from lecture 3. As you can see here, it says based on the lecture 3 slides, the number one reasons for startup failure is no market need. I'll also ask it, what is business defensibility? This was one of the first topics that we learned when we first started this course. See, so it says business defensibility is defined as the company's ability to maintain a competitive advantage. Finally, I will ask it, what are AI agents, which was a topic covered in lecture 2. Just in case this takes a little bit longer, I just want to thank you for joining the demo today, and hopefully I've been able to answer a few of the questions that you might have. So here we go. It says, based on the lecture materials, AI agents combine two key aspects. They're intelligent entities capable of active decision making and continuous learning. So now I'll kind of talk a little bit about what you see here as far as like follow-up questions. So I wanted the service to be really helpful and to interact with the user in a way of always following up, asking, how was the service? Do you have any other questions about AI agents or related concepts from the lectures, just to continue providing the sense of like system monitoring and feedback from the service component question, and then also just in general as far as making sure that the student is nudged into asking further questions as they continue their learning journey and process.